All right. Well, live. It's alive. It's alive. I'll make this very quick. Here, yeah, I'm not the most. It's not the best cinematography work ever, but this will work. Cool. All right. So, say 1, 2, 3. All right. There's the Aang picture in the background. Really cool. Yeah, present from my brother. I think he was at a convention somewhere, and then he gave it to me. I think this is from Avatar season 3. Yeah, where he's embraced the final battle. I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but yeah, you know, well, just me by myself, totally fine. Don't expect anyone to watch this stuff, but it's okay. And to anyone who's watching, thank you. I don't know how you found this video. Maybe you were that bored, but hey, I ain't gonna judge you. Thank you for watching. And yeah, doing this video, I just turned 30 years old, which is crazy. What a gift! What a blessing that really is. And doing a lot of thinking, and it's born 1991. So, wow, it's wild. So, 30 years ago, Beauty and the Beast came out. Great movie. Great movie. Funny enough, Belle is one of my favorite princesses, which is pretty cool. And actually, funny enough, though, I think I have here somewhere. Hold on. Ooh, that's a lot of dust on that. Ooh, gotta clean this out. Yeah, so when I was at Disney, I used to work at Disney back in the day. Check us out, Narnia. I used to work at Disney. Cool story. I was literally headed toward break. It was about 10 away because you knew you're in the main park and you're about to head toward the backstage area. And I was 10 feet away from, going to break. And this girl stops me and she wants to know how to meet Belle because Disney, you can Epcot, you can, there's certain place you can meet Disney characters. Started giving her all these crazy directions. Okay, so make a left here, make a right here, make a left here, go up straight. And she looked at me like, what? So I could tell that she was going to get lost. So I was like, hop this. Don't worry about it. I'm going to walk you over there. So I spent my entire break walking her over to Belle. I think Belle, at the time, was in the France section in the World Showcase, and I was all the way by Mission Space. So that's a long walk. Anyone who's been at Disney, that's a long walk. Worth it. So glad that was a good experience. She was so sweet. We talked about movies, life, and her love for Belle. And because of her, I said, I want to meet Belle myself. I did. So Narnia, and she signed it. She was so amazing. Very beautiful, of course. And yeah, it was really cool. So here's the crazy part. Now, the photographer that was there, he was hesitant about letting her sign this because Narnia Disney is owned by Disney movie, the first two. Now, I met her in 2013. Now, the third movie was Fox did it. So, but the Narnia ride, Prince Caspian was still playing at Hollywood Studios. So, I managed to convince him, okay, true. But I managed to convince, okay, sure, Disney didn't do the third movie, but they still have the Prince Caspian ride. And when you think about it, Belle read a lot of books, as noted in the movie. So, there's a lot of magical creatures. And funny enough, I met her. She recognized some of the creatures in this book. I'm like, I love you. So, cool story there. Hopefully they do more of these movies, though. But anyway, I wanted to talk about sort of my turning 30. What a blessing it is for me. And, well, happy birthday to anyone else. Happy birthday to anyone else out there who's turning 30 or had a birthday recently. But for me personally, it's been an interesting journey. Really interesting journey in life and reflection. Like, yeah, I mean, it's nuts. Fun fact, I'm going to be all over the place today. My favorite video game series is Halo. And the company that made Halo, Bungie, they were founded in 1991. So I thought, that's poetic. But just thinking about life in general and how beautiful it really is. And it's been an interesting couple of years for me growing up. My mom took me to breakfast with my brother and sister. It was a really nice breakfast. We were talking about life and sort of people that sort of you inspired you along the way and friends you kept in touch with. And, working at Disney, I was grateful. There's one guy named Russell. Shout out to Russell, who, at that time was my second job. And, working in this big theme park was intimidating and daunting. And, and Russell was really great. And it was funny enough, I just got into Star Wars, the prequels, and he was the first person. He was the first person I got to talk to about Star Wars. So it was really cool learning from him. He had such knowledge of film and movies and behind the scenes. Just like learning from a professor. He was so great learning from him. So it's grateful that you have people in your life who you. And he helped me sort of learn the ropes of Disney because I was like a lost putt. I was like, I didn't know what was going on. But I was grateful to him. And it's funny, all the jobs I had before, I look back at Disney as sort of a template, sort of, being knowledgeable at the workplace, being knowledgeable at everything, and helping others. And a lot of people will compliment on my good work ethic. Sorry, and it was really cool. I was very complimentary. I'm not like, oh yes, I'm the best. Thank you so much. No, I didn't do that. But it was nice that people sort of see that, and that was pretty cool. So, but yeah, and then you look at with the Universal, the grand opening at Diagon Alley, which is wild. I mean, to be a part of the legacy of J.K. Rowling was great. Of course, now J.K. Rowling has said some not so nice stuff on social media, which I'm not going to repeat at all. But that's a whole other story. But I personally disagree with everything she said. But anyway, that's a whole other story. Yeah, and discussion. But yeah, it was really cool being at Legacy at Diagon Alley and just being there for the grand opening and meeting some great people there. Um, yeah, so going back to the point, people who you've sort of inspired you along the way. I think there's one guy named, I guess one people talking like Crosby, great guy, got me a Team Wolf. He showed me the ropes Universal and a lot of great people I met at Universal along the way and working at King's Cross. And of course, then you have Sinopolis as well. Working at Sinopolis, that was a lot of fun. But every job that I've had has been really cool, instrumental, and you know, I've enjoyed that. But especially looking back, I think learning a lot. I think one of the biggest lessons learned is when you're a kid. You know, what's really interesting is that when you're a kid, you go to school. No, there may be sorry, there are many kids who are fortunate enough. You go to school, have fun, you come home, you have a roof over your head, you have some food, you get to watch TV, you watch movies, you get your basic stuff, you get some toys. You're a kid. Not everyone has those luxuries, but I was very fortunate, very blessed to have had those, those I guess riches, those basic needs, basic needs. That's the word I'm looking for. And it was very interesting. And then as a kid, you start to grow up and you realize, oh, parents sacrifice a lot for you. You start to grow up and you start to learn. I'm sure many people have heard the term of take your child to work day, where you get to see where your parents work. That's always interesting to see. So what your parents do. Okay, so you start learning about the jobs that parents have and what they have to do to put food on the table and work, and start learning about paycheck and wages, and bills. And I started growing up learning. Okay, so I got to start learning to pay your own phone bill. Okay, you have a car, so you got to put gas in it, paying for gas, learning how to fill up gas. And certain things start to learn about taking more responsibilities. When you drive a car, okay, your car breaks down. How do you handle that? You get into a car accident. How do you handle that? Um, there was a show I enjoyed watching called Dirty Jobs. Mike Rowe, great show. Look it up. Basically about a guy who goes around the United States and learns about all the jobs that make society run. The jobs that you don't know about, or there's people just don't know about. It's very fascinating. I think kids, teenagers, everyone should really watch that show. Great show. Mike Rowe did a TED Talk, so it's really good as well. But it was always fascinating to sort of learn about that, you know, perspective. But as you grow up, especially from middle school, high school, you start learning. Okay, so going to college. Okay, those years where you went to recess, did homework, and did that every single year, you start thinking about college. You graduate from college, now you got to start learning with the real world responsibilities. College, okay, you're living on your own. So that's always interesting. That's been really fascinating to really learn about and discover. Um, yeah, so it's pretty cool. Well, props to anyone who's listening this long, because let's be honest, most people nowadays, they don't really have the wherewithal to listen to anyone talk for a long period of time. But anyone who does, thank you. If not, if you stuck around for a minute, hey, good for you. Yeah, good enough. But definitely growing up, it's been fascinating learning so much about life and the social media age we're living in, honestly. But I've been really fortunate, I call myself really fortunate. 2020 has been an interesting year, trying year emotionally for many people. Dark year, in terms of the virus and the Black Lives Matter movement and social media in general. It's an interesting. I think one of the biggest things I learned is being authentic, being true to yourself. And I think a lot of time with social media, the dangerous thing is when you're doing it to get attention, when it just becomes something to just get likes. I think for me, what I've learned, it took me a while to figure this out because it wasn't a rule book. I would go on social media. I remember joining Facebook years ago, and um, I would just, talk. I would talk a lot and write these long, long monologues. Say, "Hey, Jim, how you doing? It's been a while. Oh yeah, this is what I'm up to." And I'll go, and then no, they wouldn't answer back. Then I learned what ghosting means. Yeah, ghosting, not fun. But it's funny. I was watching Cobra Kai, wonderful TV show. There's a moment where one of the characters, Johnny Lawrence, hasn't seen his friend or ex girlfriend in a while, and she reaches out to him, and he gets nervous. How do I talk to her? So he ends up writing this giant long paragraph, and I think his person, I think Miguel, I think his name is, played by Zolo. Or I said, no, that's not how you do it. Just keep it short and sweet. See, I didn't know that. I'm 30 years old. I didn't know that. So I realized a lot of times I would go on these long monologues and I would talk these long paragraphs. I think that might turn people off. But social media, it's a strange beast. I was watching this documentary on the social dilemma, and then PBS did another documentary, Generation Like. And boy, it's just interesting. Even when texting versus calling, where I guess we live in an age where texting is sort of the easier way to go. But I think now we have Zoom now. People have been using Zoom a lot more. But yeah, texting's a strange thing because it's like it's not fully. I mean, some people can text a lot and it's authentic, but for me personally, I'm not used to people texting me, but it's just sort of this weird disconnect. It's just strange. Social media is interesting though. I think especially during this crazy time, you realize. I think in a way, social media has made can make people more lonely. I think that's what happened to me, honestly, last year. That's another video I talked about on my Instagram Live, Jedi Demo. Yeah, I'd go in deep into that. Um, but yeah, one of the big things I've learned, turning 30 is perseverance, hope, faith, hard work, and saving your money. I think one of the things I learned is overcoming so many challenges, whether it be, I think, anxiety, um, depression at times, and learning and coming to terms with it and saying, okay, this is where I'm at. Where do I go from here? You know, and I think I'm grateful to have. I think being a geek really helps. Has helped for me because I'm sort of seeing the beauty. I'm sort of seeing the beauty in the world. Like one of the things I like to do is podcasts. I like podcasts a lot because from the get go, you think podcasts. Why will I listen to a rich celebrity talk for an hour? It seems silly. Well, I look at it this way. Okay, take Josh Brolin, random. Just an example. Take away the money. Take away the fame. He's a person, regular person. There's one of the podcasts I follow inside you, Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville, which ironically turns 20 years old this year. Go Smallville. Michael Rosenbaum played Lex Luthor. Fantastic actor. Watch the interviews. Fascinating guy. He interviews amazing people and just people who are going through life and say, hey, I have anxiety. I have failures. I'm scared. I feel this way. And it's just healing. I think one of the best episodes I've watched, well, Zachary Levi, plays Shazam. That was some good stuff to really dive into. And I'm really proud of that, watching that. So that's been a great podcast to follow. And yeah, it's been really enjoyable. I think honestly, healing. I think he'll look at like people like George Lucas or Steven Spielberg or Ryan Coogler. I think YouTube is a great resource because you can learn so much about people and their careers and how they became successful, the struggles they went through. It's really cool. I'm 30. I mean, most people do the whole meme thing and cat videos or whatever, all these challenges. That's cool if you do that. But for me, it's fascinating, being a person who loves movies and books, just discovering that, and learning from that. Just, yeah, that was George Lucas. Watch some of his interviews. He's a very smart person, very interesting guy. Even there's some TED Talks out there, different people. And yeah, just getting inspiration from people. I think Steve Harvey's been really great. Jordan Peterson, George Lucas, some of my favorite filmmakers. It's funny, you look at some, even J.J. Abrams, it's funny, a lot of the filmmakers that I like, if I watch a movie, I'll look them up on YouTube and YouTube has a setting where you set the longest interview, and it's fascinating. I think YouTube is a great resource. No matter what, you can look. So say you want to become an engineer, Rest in peace, Grant Imahara. Look him up. Watch any interview of him. You get to learn so much. Bill Nye the Science Guy, or Gene Roddenberry, or whatever. If you want to be an engineer, architect, whatever, there's so much on YouTube. And the cool thing with YouTube, and a addicting thing, mischievous way, is that the more videos you watch on a topic, they'll recommend more videos. So you want to be a musician, a writer, whatever, it's there. I think what I've learned now is that the resources out there for kids are vast. One time I went to Michael's or Joann's. Oh my goodness, there's arts and crafts is just nuts. I mean, kids can make the best. Kids can make the best project in the history of projects. So many great things there, resources there. Book movies. I mean, when I was a kid, I was in high school. I started high school in 2005. So YouTube was just starting. So there was a lot of books that I would read in class and I would have a hard time following, understanding it. I got a little lazy. But now you look at book movies like The Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner, The Hate You Give. I think there's some movies on Shakespeare plays. It's fantastic. And what's great about those movies nowadays, looking back, is that they're entertaining movies, but they speak about the human condition. You look at The Maze Runner, a virus that affects the world population and kids trying to survive. Hunger Games, Divergent, corrupt government and kids saying enough is enough. Books like Percy Jackson, Harry Potter, about, kids rising up, coming together, uniting, achieving greatness. Big Hero 6, Guardians of the Galaxy, the How to Train Your Dragon series, Teen Titans, just Avatar's Airbender, or Legend of Korra, books that are entertaining but sort of speak about core values and ideas. Even Avatar and Korra, my goodness, that's just so much good things there. And I think what I'm seeing now, is for me, I hope to achieve greatness, seek inspiration, find hope, because 2020 was interesting. I think for a lot of people now, what's I hope moving forward for me is I hope continue to stay hopeful, stay vigilant, work hard, be great, seek out people who are willing to help others, who are being gracious and being open and collaborative. And I think I've never been a political person, not really. I think as a kid, okay, I knew who Al Gore was, I knew who George Bush was, and 9/11 happened, that was a big deal, the Patriot Act, and and the world started, people were very hateful toward Middle Eastern people, and yeah, and seeing history repeat itself, innocent black men and women being killed by cops, seeing slavery, civil rights movement, to now Black Lives Matter. It's just, yeah. I think for a lot of young kids nowadays, whether they support Black Lives Matter or not, or they don't really care to watch news, the reality is, look at Greta Thunberg. Whether you like her or not, I mean, the reality is, though, is that a lot of kids need to start paying more attention. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But I think the reality is that whether people like it or not, hopefully that kids will start paying attention to, because as kids get older, they realize, okay, we're living in this world, we have to, okay, Trump was president, wasn't a fan of Trump, but, I think a lot of kids will have to start, and it's important to live your life, have fun, but also be aware, hey, in terms of equal pay, in terms of housing, insurance, all these things, in terms of, representation, equality for Asian, LBGTQ, Native American, Latina, Asian, Black African Americans, Black people, everyone, people like me, everyone, being more aware, being more involved, whether it be donating or getting involved. I think hopefully we hope to see that. And I think for me, I think being alive has been the best gift ever. It is a gift, thank God for that. But looking back, I look at people like, a lot of people, there's a lot of trailblazers. Look at someone like Sean Connery, or Cicely Tyson, Chadwick Boseman, Grant Imahara, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, John Lewis, Elijah Cummings, people like them who have shined so bright, trailblazed now. Hopefully their light, people will remember their names, people like me, and then people aren't like me, and then move forward, and hoping to achieve wonders. For me, I want to travel more. Yeah, I think I want to see here. I have a list here. Definitely traveling more is something I want to do. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we're 20 minutes in. My goodness, I talk a lot. What do I want to do? So many good. Traveling is fun. see, I wrote a list here. Okay, so Soccer Hall of Fame. Want to check that out? That was in Oneonta, New York. That was in Texas. You have Wahlburgers. I went to Wahlburgers in Orlando. A lot of fun. But the original one. Hey, maybe I'll run into Mark Wahlberg Donnie. That'd be kind of cool. There was I think Army Hammer owned a cupcake store in Texas. I want to check that out. Fortunately, Army Hammer has been in the news in not the positive way. It's kind of disturbing, but I'm not going to repeat that. Kids, don't look up Army Hammer, but if you do, talk with your parents before you go on. It's an interesting discussion. I won't say anything else about that. Steve Carell owned a general store. Want to check that out. Actor Paul Rudd, Jeffrey D. Morgan, has a candy shop. Want to check that out. I was watching CBS Sunday Morning, great news show, and a thing called Ray's Boozy Cupcakes. It's New Jersey shop. Want to check that out. Yeah, things like that. I just wanted to explore and travel a lot more and become a full-fledged writer and being inspired by so many people. And as a kid, being inspired by my best friend Jamie Engel, great author, look her up. People like Louis Sakar. I mean, J.K. Rowling is a great writer. I'll say that. Rick Riordan, Louis Sakar, George Lucas, James Luceno, R.L. Stein. I talked with Andy Weir. I emailed him. He's a really nice guy. Ernest Klein. I mean, Chris Paolini, Cornelia Funke. Who else? Anthony Horowitz, great authors, and Dave Filoni, is a great storyteller. Avatar, Clone Wars, Brian Konietzko, Michael Donde DiMartino, Stan Lee, of course, great Stan Lee. Look at people like Tyler Perry, Kevin Smith, M. Night Shyamalan, Zack Snyder. I think that my hope is that, for me, I continue to be bold, be brave, be open to social experiences. Yeah, I'm not really a social person that much, but hoping to travel more and be grateful and take every moment and embrace each moment. And for anyone else listening out there, I hope that you guys will continue to work hard, be inspired, and be more understanding, be judgmental. Sorry, be curious, less judgmental. I was on a great show called Ted Lasso, but off the wider poet Walt Whitman said that. Wonderful advice, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. That's one of my favorite sayings from Friday Night Lights. I think it's just be understanding, be inspired. And for knowing that you are loved, you have worth, you're capable of greatness and wonders. I think about Chadwick Boseman a lot. Boy, what actually got this at Walmart. Yeah, beautiful. I saw this at Walmart, I had to get it. What a really fascinating man. His death was tough, man. His death was tough. But you look at a guy, this man right here, you look at him and what career? 4 years he had cancer, no one knew about it, but what a man who really just lived life to the fullest. Brilliant, I never had cancer. My aunt had cancer, she beat cancer. But cancer kind of, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, kind of wears your body down. But the fact that we saw him during interviews, did Silent Lives, all these bits, and had almost some energy. Looking back, I think there's some videos where he looked a little bit weary, a little tired, but he just gave 100%. Even the world was falling apart politically. He said, no, let's keep going. There's one for interview where he, I think it was on Sway in the Morning, where he's talking about these two kids he knew that cancer while filming Black Panther. It's a powerful video. But what a powerful thing to be blessed with such talent that, to be in such grace and power, and to work hard no matter what, be vigilant, diligent in everything you do. I mean, it's beautiful. And the fact that he went to school and Felicia Shaw from the Cosby Show had him be his professor, his teacher, and then he wanted to go to school across the seas to England, Oxford, I think. Look it up. And then Denzel Washington secretly paid for his education thanks to Felicia Shaw. I mean, who would have thought, And then look what we have now: James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, and Jackie Robinson. So I think it's a good model for perseverance. Perseverance. And miss for all time. Yeah, I look at one thing that I've learned is back to inspiration is I look at Paul Walker. I Am Paul Walker, great documentary. Look, Stan Lee. There was a great YouTube documentary about him. And Mr. Rogers. I think there was a couple of documentaries. I think there was a Tom Hanks movie, and it was "Won't You Be My Neighbor" and Mr. Rogers and Me. But you know what's funny? Before I get back, PBS. I think kids should really be raised on PBS. There's some great programming about just entertainment, but just being good people in general. Like Reading Rainbow. But going back to the inspiration thing, and just it's strange when people die. It's a tragedy, but I think there's something beautiful about, poetic about death bringing life, inspiration to other people. And when someone dies, their life is lifted up so that it may chart a path forward for many others to keep that light going. So it's a beautiful thing. Poetic though, but yeah. I hope that we'll see more inclusion. I think what's interesting about me moving forward in the culture, I think this coronavirus has really changed everything. It'll change how we see, movies, politics, social interactions, commerce, business. I mean, the whole GameStop stock market thing was insane. That was interesting. But it'll be interesting to see where everything goes. Me personally, what I hope to see myself is just losing weight would be great. Getting my wisdom teeth pulled out. Um, yeah, I'll too personal. But I think ultimately, being embracing being a geek. I love, the superheroes. Love my Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and Star Trek and musicals. But what's great about them is just it's entertaining, but just sort of understanding the power of just stories and making ourselves feel better and be better people. And there's something powerful about the underdogs. People who are underappreciated. Interesting. I look at movies like Rocky or Alien or Karate Kid or Revenge of the Nerds. You look at people like Zack Snyder, what a career he's had. He's had some critical backlash against him. And then, of course, the Snyder Cut movement has been fascinating and amazing to watch. It's been a big joy in my life to watch. Just sort of the power of celebrating good art and celebrating stories that should be lifted up and supporting something that's a movie that's a creative vision to its fullest, but also a cause that's so prevalent now more than ever. Um, Rest in power, Autumn. So Snyder Cut. I mean, a lot of people are against that, but I recommend looking that up. It's a powerful move. Well, shout out to the YouTube channel Justice Con. I think that'll explain everything. Seeing Ray Fisher, what he's going through, his battle, his fight has been fascinating to watch and powerful. Um, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., what a great show. Been a huge fan of that show for a while. Looking at someone like Tyler Perry, who's made some amazing movies. Some of his movies aren't, a lot of people don't enjoy his movies though, but you see where he's come from. He makes movies for some money. He makes money. See what he will with Tyler Perry movies. They make money. And then the Tyler Perry Studios. Understand where he came from, look to where he is right now. Kevin Smith, what a fascinating filmmaker. Movie where a lot of his movies have failed, but he succeeded and kept pursuing his dreams and fighting a good fight. And then after a heart attack, coming back on top. And now just watching him and seeing him be in a better place in his life. And I shan't win. Boy, we can do a whole TED Talk on that. Talk about failure. I love this man. I hope to meet him one day. M. Night Shyamalan is a guy, Indian filmmaker, came to the United States, wanted to become a filmmaker, succeeded, failed, succeeded. Talk about a guy who made a film, Avatar, like the last Airbender movie, based on many people's childhood. The movie tanks hard. They make a movie with Will Smith and Jaden Smith that tanks hard. And then no Hollywood's like, nope, pass. He ends up making another film, mortgaging his own house. It does well. Then he's able to make another movie, which turned out to be a sequel to a movie he made years ago. Then he's able to complete that trilogy with another movie. And now he has a TV show, which is in his third year. And Universal gave him a bunch of money to make 2 films. He just finished one, and now he's going to make another one. And he made a TV show in between his rise back, in which 2 twin brothers worked on that show, and he went on to create a show called Stranger Things. So, what a fascinating person, indeed. So, There's a great speech I like by Denzel Washington. Just look up YouTube, Denzel Washington NAACP speech. It's a very beautiful speech. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Yeah, powerful. So, wow, 30 minutes. My goodness. Wow. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to wrap this up. But my 30th birthday was great. I had some cool custard cake and been inspired. I feel blessed. I'm forward to hope to live a long life. My wise man once said, live long and prosper. Looking forward to being inspired, working hard, and just hopefully, I think as a black man, being more trying to promote, be inspiration, be part of the movement of just celebrating people who are different. Whether it be black, Asian, LGBTQ, Native American, Asian, Hispanic, everyone. Indian, Danish, whatever, Swedish, whatever. And for those who may not feel the same way, starting out small with the conversation without being hateful or malice. And there are people out there, let's be honest, that whole thing in the Capitol, that's scary stuff. That's messed up. Because it's like, I know there are people out there who don't feel the same way, who don't want Biden as president, who are caring, understanding, and say, okay, I don't want Biden as president, but I'll make this work. There are people out there who have just hate and bitterness in their heart. That could be a dangerous thing. I think someone said the most dangerous thing for a dangerous place for a black person to be is a white man's imagination. So sort of navigating that, moving forward from that, and sort of how we find that common ground. Yeah, I think maybe the idea of cancel culture and moving forward. That's a whole other story, but anyway, it's interesting. I think 2021 is a lot of insight, perspective moving forward. So I'm excited. I feel grateful. I'm thankful to God for guiding me along this path. I failed and succeeded so many times. Look forward to moving forward in my life. Thanks to everyone who took the time to listen to this. If anyone's listening, if not, I'm glad I did this. Oh yeah, I'm glad I did this. Um, so looking forward to seeing what's next. All the great movies coming out. Oh my goodness. So hopefully I can move forward in my life socially and yeah, being more driven. And I'm grateful. I consider myself grateful, very fortunate. And I'm looking forward to what's next. Career wise, and yeah, Excelsior. So it's gonna be great. But yeah, seriously, thanks to anyone who's listening, to my Instagram followers or YouTube. Thanks for listening. If you stuck around this long, shout out to all the people I've known from New Jersey, Thomas Jefferson Middle School, Lakeview Middle School, Trinity Prep, Sinopolis, my Lesnopolis friends, my Disney friends, Universal friends, um, New Jersey, everyone else, Boy Scouts, grateful. All my Walmart friends as well. Yeah, be excellent, be courageous, be kind, be understanding, less judgmental, um, and be productive. Find something that you enjoy doing and work toward it. You know, I think whatever career you want to pursue, there's good resources out there. A Vox YouTube channel, um, there's so many great resources out there. And yeah, let's see where the new frontier goes. 2021, and wear a mask. Wear a mask, people. If not, listen to Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd gave a great, interesting video on wearing a mask. Paul Rudd, guy who keeps on gift that keeps on giving. Paul Rudd. All right, so thanks for watching this retrospective, reflective video on me turning 30, and yeah, keep going, onward and upward to glory. All right, okay, all right, that's it. All right, ending stream.